Hey, remember this show? Oops! Hello everybody, welcome to Moviebusters. I'm Brian Lehowski.
And I'm Alex Isanero.
Stop the presses. We're doing some movie busting right now. We're gonna bust some nuts that are not actually nuts, they're movies. Mm-hmm. This is already a terrible intro. Anyway, what's your password?
It's an iPhone.
We don't have the... Yeah, I need you to...
We're downgrading.
Yeah, we don't have...
We had budget cuts. We had to kill 2 people.
Yeah. What? Today we're going to be talking about a film from Stanley Kubrick called The Shining. I'm sure you're all aware of it. It's one of the most popular horror films of all time.
Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it a lot.
It's a very good film, and they're making a dumb sequel to it because...
It's called Dr. Nope.
Dr. Sleep. I'm going to fall asleep.
More like I'm falling asleep.
Right now. Just thinking about the film. Dr. Sleep, more like Dr. Nerd. As we know, Stanley Kubrick's films are completely perfect and have no flaws in them whatsoever.
Yeah.
However, oops!
Uh-oh! Uh-oh!
A lot of The Shining is intentional. There are a lot of framing devices that are essential to the overall narrative of the film. And the narrative of the film is incomprehensible sometimes because you can never fully comprehend what it is because the film is ambiguous about a lot of things. Mm-hmm. I also figured, by the way, if I use important words like ambiguous, then it makes me sound smart. My point is that a lot of the things in The Shining are intentional, so of course it would make sense why this helicopter would be in here. Because obviously...
You don't know it's a helicopter.
Honestly, though, it's clearly not an editing mistake that the filmmakers clearly misunderstood. It is obvious that that helicopter is here for a reason. Mm-hmm. Why don't you do your...
You want me to start first?
Okay,
I
you go ahead.
Start. Of course, Brian passing the baton just because he doesn't understand yet.
Yeah.
So the reason why I think the helicopter is there is the overlooming threat of a nuclear war happening in the United States during the USSR during this time. Because this film was made in the 1980s. So the Cold War was in full swing with the Russians. And this brought over the overwhelming threat of military control over the entire U.S. area, and thus bringing over nuclear armaments. I mean, even Jack Nicholson freezing in the cold, bringing upon the new nuclear winter, which will occur if...
Nuclear.
Of the nuclear winter that's bound to happen if all the bombs drop, and thus bringing back upon the end. Yeah,
so that's the point of the...
That's why the winter brings
in.
End. Yeah, because as you can see, there's no winter throughout the entire film when driving up there. And then it cuts to an entire mountain being covered in snow, and then it's snowing very aggressively for the next couple of weeks. That's actually like around a Black Hawk, what they used in the Vietnam War with the 2 turbines and stuff and the open doors on the side.
Yeah.
That's usually what the U.S. Army used in the 1980s.
Shit! So anyway, my theory as to why this is
why?
Because... So... I heard that Stanley Kubrick was not here for this opening scene. Obviously, I think it's because he didn't want to be in a helicopter or whatever. The point is that he didn't want to be here for the shooting of this. So they got a guest director. And who is the director? Casey Neistat. You see, that helicopter is not actually a helicopter. It's a drone. And as we all know...
He uses a lot of drones.
He uses a lot of drones. He's the drone boy. Mm-hmm. And he also likes K-pop.
K-pop! Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
So that's why, because as you know, Stanley Kubrick is a perfectionist. He spends hours on each shot. But he wasn't here for this scene. So, of course, how could you overlook something like the helicopter? It would make sense at this point in Casey Neistat's life, because he was a fetus. So obviously he made the amateur mistake of having that shadow, of course, which is understandable.
K-pop.
And after all, this entire opening shot is kind of filmed like a time lapse. If you speed it up...
So let's speed it up and see what it looks like now.
You know what? While we still have time, because we went through this entire thing, let's go through a bunch of other scenes.
Alright, yeah, let's just continue watching the video and just scream at this guy.
Okay, so the video we're watching is like the movie mistakes of The Shining, which obviously we covered the mistakes and like gave our own theories as to why there are mistakes, be it intentional or because of a filmmaker that was literally a fetus. But this guy
No,
right
this
here,
is when Stan took over.
yeah, right, this guy right here is saying that there is no reflection of Wendy in the mirror.
Yeah.
Enough said. I think that this is Stanley Kubrick's subtle nudge at the Wendy's restaurant, because the main character's name is Wendy.
And Wendy has nothing good on the menu.
Yeah! Basically, that's Stanley Kubrick just like, messing around with Wendy's and being like, there's nothing good on your menu because there's
1980s.
nothing good here. And you know what? It's 2019 and there's still nothing good at Wendy's. Get riggedy wrecked.
Son.
So they
in this one, it says, like, since this is the 1980s, there should be wires, there should be cables, there should be the freaking antennas pointing out and stuff. But there's nothing.
But, well, my theory to this is actually because the TV represents Wendy's. No, I'm just kidding.
This represents the human, the child's mind just drifting and just imagining what's going on. Wendy is not paying attention to the boy.
Yeah, there's nothing on the TV for her.
Actually, yeah,
But he's the only one that thinks that there's something on the TV, which isn't
and also
even plugged
he's the one
in.
with the special power, The Shining.
Oh my god. Well, my theory to that was actually going to be that they actually hired a bunch of, I can't say midgets, so little people. So now's the part of the show where we look at the comments of the YouTube video.
Yeah, I cheated. I
To see what every other people's like theories are about this. Movie mistakes. 226. Misspelled word reflection. Nuff said. Stop licking my neck. It's Kubrick. Best believe a lot of these are intentional. Thanks, Squidward.
Get lost, Squidward.
Stanley Kubrick had OCD and he was really strict about what he puts in his pictures. These mistakes were intentional because he's using subliminal messages and mind tricks for the viewer to notice. There's more to the film than you think.
Yeah, Scooby-Choo.
Well, thanks everybody for watching this episode of Moviebusters. New episodes every 4 months.
Goodbye.
Why are we still here?
Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in.
Hey, wait a minute.